Today we are going to talk about the blood vessels, which is very important to our bodies. There are three types of blood vessels. There are arteries, capillaries, and veins. Arteries are the blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart to all the other parts of the body. The first one is pulmonary arteries. Pulmonary arteries are on the both right and left sides of the heart. The blood is transported by pulmonary arteries to the lungs has low oxygen inside. Systemic arteries send blood that contains oxygen from left ventricle to all the body tissues. The heart pumps the blood into large elastic arteries that divide it into many smaller branches and finally become microscopic arteries, which are called arterioles. The arterioles are very important for regulating blood flow into capillaries. Capillaries are the smallest and the largest number of the blood vessels. They play a key role in connecting the arteries and the veins. They can exchange materials between the blood and the tissue cells. Veins are the blood vessels that send blood to the heart. After blood flows through the capillaries, it enters the venules, which is the smallest veins, and after the blood passes through the venules, it enters gradually bigger and bigger veins and finally gets into the heart. Pulmonary veins send blood that contains oxygen from lungs to the left atrium. The blood is sent by systemic veins from body tissue to the right atrium. This blood contains less oxygen than the pulmonary veins, because tissue cells have already used the oxygen during metabolic activities. When our bodies are getting hotter, our blood vessels will help us to cool down by expanding the size of the blood vessels. This process is also known as the vasodilation. It allows a lot of blood to flow closer to our surface of the skin that help us to release great amounts of heat. In addition, if our bodies are too cold and need to get hotter, the blood vessels will also help us by compressing themselves. It is also called vasoconstriction. When the blood vessels constrict and get narrower, less blood will flow under our surface of the skin so that less heat will be released. When our heart pumps blood through the blood vessels to our body tissue, it will produce pressure, which is called the blood pressure. Because arteries are the blood vessels that receive the blood from our heart, so the blood pressure will be higher. Blood pressure will progressively decrease when blood flows into the capillaries, and when blood enters the veins, blood pressure will gradually reduce and lessen the other blood vessels. Systolic pressure is when heart constricts, the blood will be pumped into arteries, so the blood pressure in arteries will increase right after the constriction. Diastolic pressure is when blood vessels turn into the normal diameter that keeps the blood pressure in a low level. High blood pressure is the pressure in the arteries is always too high. There are three main factors that determine the blood pressure. One is the cardiac output, which means the amount of blood is sent from our heart every heartbeat. When cardiac output increases, the blood pressure also increases. The second factor is the total amount of blood in our body, and is also known as the blood volume. And blood pressure will increase if the blood volume increases. The third factor is resistance, which is anything against the blood flow in the arteries. Flexibility is that our blood vessels expand every heartbeat that help decrease the blood pressure. When the diameter of arteries increase, the blood pressure will be lower, and when it reduces, the blood pressure will be higher. If the blood is thicker, the blood pressure goes up because it's hard to pump it through vessels.
Created using Powtoon.